I love how even in the Arkham games before Superman got introduced, before the Suicide Squad game, they already talked about Superman and mentioned him in dialogue in the Arkham universe. Don't you love it? There's even hints of him in Arkham Knight with the Daily Planet. Newspapers in this game talk about a meteor shower in Smallville. They reference this freaking metropolis, flu. Plenty of evidence of Superman existing in this universe. I'm not gonna lie, the Arkham Knight was a good grand finale to Batman's story in the video game universe with the new myth about him being a demon bad, and we thought it was over, but then 5 years later we actually learn in the newest game events that he met Superman of this universe, and that's when he kind of joined the Justice League. There's something wholesome about that. Even though his identity is revealed to the world, he still continues being Batman with Superman and such, joining the Justice League. Oh, speaking of Superman, oh boy, Superman of this universe is crazy powerful, and we just getting started. There's already implications he has the raw strength stated by Batman himself in the game's secret Argus files that kind of revealed the lore of what happened in the event of Brainiac invading and stuff. They pretty much confirmed off the gate that he can carry the weight of the entire planet on his shoulders. Literally, Batman literally saying that. Even though it was a joke, this is the type of stuff Superman always does. I do not think this is an exaggeration, and I think we should take this as Bible. Oh boy. Arkham Superman. Let's analyze Superman. Oh man, evil Superman of this universe. Oh boy. Like, don't ask, but yeah, there's a mountain of DLC that's coming, like literally very soon. So yeah, a lot of this stuff could be retconned. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League is apparently set in the same universe of games that made my life great. Like the Batman games was just the truth. Like I pretty much like all these Batman games, even the underrated one, Arkham Origins, people seem to hate on, but I love that too. It's like the Suicide Squad game is basically like opening up the universe to a wider theme. Sometimes you might forget that freaking powerful godlike aliens like Superman exists, a guy that needs a game ASAP. He's the absolute symbol of hope, and it's like the first game we see him in, he's possessed by a super entity that made him basically a horror movie character. Like seriously, tell me that doesn't look horror movie-ish. I mean, it's expected. It's the stuff you're used to. Superman, I've gone over him multiple times on the channel. This video game version is the same thing, even though he's mind controlled. If he's not somehow some kind of clone or something, they might reveal he might be a clone or not the real Superman. Anyway, I'm just going to say Superman in this video. He can do the standard Superman stuff like heat vision. His heat vision can melt through statues like this. You can see his blast power do that to a vehicle. Yeah. I mean, it's the stuff you already know about the sun, how the sun nourishes him. I mean, he's basically possessed by Brainiac, of course, but yeah, he's basically telling the truth about how it makes him stronger than you can imagine. We actually see Superman use ice breath or ice attacks against Wonder Woman here. Oh yeah, in the game they mentioned he does have super hearing. He can hear conversation from 2 cities away, fly. You know, all the standard Superman stuff we're used to, like how he's floating here. Super strength, you get the idea. Let's get into it. Just like you would expect, Superman in this universe, he's fast. He can use his super strength with his speed to punch hard too. And shout out to the Brainiac of this universe, but he's a freaking monster. He somehow was able to mind control like multiple top tier powerhouse leaguers. One can make an argument that he amped the characters up, even down to their DNA, because when he's possessed by Brainiac here, one can argue he's amped more than normal because green kryptonite, something that would usually be lethal to him like this, it would have usually killed him. Because in other game files, when it's talking about like Brainiac bringing out their full potential, one could say Brainiac could be amping him up.
It should have killed him. It should have killed him. And it didn't.
The consequences of corruption have created changes in Superman down to his DNA. Similar changes likely impacted the rest of the League.
Same for the rest of the Justice League that was possessed by Brainiac. One can argue they was amped up. One can make an argument Superman's just really experienced and he's really resistant to kryptonite in this universe. Who knows? But even when powerhouses like Wonder Woman use kryptonite, it's not like an end-all be-all with her strength. What Superman you know where he can get stuck in the chest with kryptonite and he can still fight? I mean, I get it. This Superman is experienced in this universe and he's fought other kryptonite-ish type beings. Like, it's confirmed in the game's lore. Like, off screen, of course, this universe version of Superman has fought Metallo in the past, somewhere in the past that we haven't seen, of course. So, I mean, he could be more resistant to kryptonite than we're thinking, but odds are Brainiac is helping him being able to resist kryptonite this much. But yeah, this Superman seems like, especially with this evil Superman, with this Brainiac infested stuff, he doesn't have the same weaknesses as we're used to with Superman, because even when the team had gold kryptonite is something that takes away our Kryptonian's powers permanently. It does hurt Superman in this universe when he's powered up by Brainiac or whatever, or possessed. Even when they got gold kryptonite in this universe, it's apparently still not an easy task for them to win against Superman. Like, yeah, this Superman crazy. Like, it was even stated it will dampen his abilities. Like, ain't it supposed to remove his powers permanently? So even this is not a end-all, be-all against Superman. So it's little files like this, like, you know, the secret Argus tapes in the game you can unlock to get more lore on what happened before the events of the game, or right before it, the stuff we didn't see They talk about Brainiac, I can unlock your full potential. Like, it's little stuff like this that imply that Superman could be amped beyond belief. You know, what do you think? Or the League in general was amped thanks to Brainiac. What do you think? When Green Lantern Possessed by Brainiac was giving us a tutorial how this game worked, they say the word, like literally say the word enhance. So everybody could be getting enhanced with extra power thanks to Brainiac when they're possessed. But that's just my theory. I could be wrong completely. Just my theory. It seems like they're amped by Brainiac. Maybe Brainiac didn't make him stronger. Maybe he just made him get more resistant to kryptonite or something. Who knows? In that particular area. Maybe he didn't enhance his strength. We just know Superman's ridiculously strong anyway. Partly because of his origin. You know, the same stuff we already know about his origin. This same universe kind of mimics the comics when it comes to his origin. I'll let him explain it for me.
I'm not even from Earth. My world was dying. So my mom and dad sent me to a beautiful blue planet far away. Some really nice people raised me, even though I came from another world. I love this world. Remember how I told you I'm from another planet? Well, on my world, this is my family crest.
When you think of Superman, you're probably used to him doing super crazy things, like little standard stuff. Like he can do that kind of stuff in his universe too. Like on a billboard in the game, I found this image of him lifting a cart. Stuff Superman always does. Can't really say that good, but yeah, he can do this stuff in his universe too, off screen. You got occasions like this that pretty much prove he can definitely lift and toss helicopters and use them as a weapon. Pieces of a tank he can lift up with ease. Yeah. Same with lifting up planes. So he can lift over 2 tons or even 50 plus tons if he can lift a plane. There was like literally this nuclear missile that was heading towards Brainiac's ship when Superman was possessed, of course. This missile was huge. Superman was strong enough to stop this huge missile on the spot. This seemed to be easy for him too. Things like him lifting up planes and 60 plus ton tanks is expected, right? This is probably stuff some of Batman's villains can do in this universe, like Bane and such, you know? Like beings like Killer Croc and them can probably do this kind of stuff. So of course Superman should be higher than them when it comes to raw strength. They wouldn't make such a big deal of him if he wasn't. Like when it comes to actual tanks, we know Superman can actually swing entire tanks around. I mean, you kind of know he can hit hard with occasions with Wonder Woman, somebody that's also godlike strong. He can use his speed along with his raw strength, of course, to hit hard. Like how he does to her here, it's obvious. Like with his speed, he flew her somewhere else. He can probably hit way harder than what he can lift anyway. Like you see this tank, him just ramming and fighting Wonder Woman, they ram into it and knock it over. They can feel the collateral of the shockwave. I mean, so just the collateral of him fighting Wonder Woman, his punches and just strikes in general can send a tank flying with just his hits alone. Of course he can do that if he can lift this stuff up, of course. It's scary that there's just a lot of ways he can take you out. Your size means nothing to Superman. He can just blitz you around you, fly at you at crazy speed, and make his punches harder. Did you notice when he's fighting Wonder Woman, pretty much every hit, you can see a shockwave from his hits? Cracking the concrete here, for example. You see him cracking the concrete here against Wonder Woman. A piece of a tank, he used like a baseball bat to make a shockwave too. You see him kick Wonder Woman here, make a shockwave. Like, how's he so resistant to kryptonite, guys? He literally punched to break the kryptonite apart with his bare hands, guys. Matching strength of Wonder Woman and raw strength or just muscle and then punching. Matter of fact, Superman was so powerful and he was hitting so hard that Suicide Squad was watching them fight. Deadshot actually said, maybe we should have took our chances with the nuclear bomb to help take out Superman and them. Implying Superman, they would need a nuke as a bare minimum. Without counting weaknesses and stuff, they would need that as a bare minimum, apparently. Because Wonder Woman's somebody that's pretty freaking strong too, and he can take what he can dish out. This shouldn't be really that shocking, but there's implications he can level buildings. Like, look at the building behind them they just go through. Like, yeah, they can literally go through buildings like butter. To the point where you see a big chunk of the building fall down. Wonder Woman and him can both do this. I mean, we never seen this version of Superman lift the building, but he probably can lift the building too if he can fly through it and break it apart. He probably has the strength or muscle to lift it if he wanted to, right? This is nothing new for Superman tiers and comics and such. Game seems to be mimicking that. Yeah, but it goes without question that his punches, of course, can easily bring down or level buildings, right? That's obvious, right? Like, you can see more punches of what he can endure. Him and Wonder Woman fighting each other, breaking concrete. Even when a car is thrown at him, he just brushes it off. Like this occasion, it looks like he just threw the nuke, but Superman literally flew with the nuke, flew it somewhere else. And as far as it looks like he withstood that nuke at point blank range. Like, yeah, it was a real nuke, by the way, a nuclear explosion. He flew it somewhere else. He is apparently right next to all that. So there's a chance that his body can be in the middle of something that can blow up cities and he can just shrug it off like it ain't no big deal. Not only is he fighting Wonder Woman with kryptonite, he got stabbed in the chest and still was able to actually take her life and just brutally take her out with a kryptonite in his chest. Like, yo, this dude crazy strong. Like, he has reflexes too, combat speed. Like in this case, them using kryptonite, gold kryptonite, he was able to catch it off guard like that quick. He has reflexes, and it was affecting him. Something that would usually make him permanently depowered, but it's not here. He just blasts it away. You got moments like this with Wonder Woman, you could just see his blitzing type of speed. Like, you see how he just zips towards her ridiculously fast. Combat speed. That probably affects how hard he can hit too. Knowing his durability and strength, he can punch ridiculously fast too. Since we ain't got much screen time for him, we know he's been through a lot of adventures, but we don't really know his limits when it comes to his raw speed. There's implications he can move faster than the speed of sound, or at least light speed or something, because a Green Lantern exists in this universe. Like, I know this is comics, this is not the Arkham universe, but Superman has a history of being like speedster-esque, if that makes sense, right? Even if Flash has the advantage, he's not too far behind, if that makes sense. Like, we know this Arkham universe has a Green Lantern we've seen. He's a space cop. Yo, we know Green Lanterns fly through space. You know how big space is. We haven't seen him do this yet. I'm like 99% sure this version of Green Lantern can probably fly at speeds way faster than light. If this universe version of Superman is anything like what we're used to, if he's fast as a Green Lantern or faster, he should be able to do massively faster than the speed of light type stuff too. We just haven't seen it happen in the Arkham version yet, but he might be able to do this. It's a high chance, right, of him having faster than light travel speed. I don't want to do too much reaching, but we know Flash in this universe exists, and we know Green Lantern in this universe exists, and we know he flies through space because he's a space cop. In the files of the game, they talk about how he patrols entire sectors of space, so yeah, it's implied that Green Lantern does fly throughout space, like what we're used to in comics, the main comics. And the Flash and Green Lantern apparently race in this universe, so, you know, so you can kind of get an idea of that these characters are probably fast. And Superman should be fast too. You're probably thinking, oh man, he ain't that strong, because in promotional material, they imply King Shark could have went toe-to-toe with him. Like, you probably remember the promotional material.
He can jump around Metropolis like nothing you've ever seen. And one of the only creatures on Earth who can go toe-to-toe with Superman.
The interesting thing about this statement is that this was only in promotional material for the game. This line, I played the game a couple times. I never heard this line actually said in the cutscenes of the actual game. So I don't even know if that statement is actually canon about King Shark being up there with them. Plus, there's nothing in the game to suggest that this version of King Shark can hang with any of these Justice Leaguers by himself one-on-one anyway, without kryptonite or some weaknesses or something. Like, there was a point in the game when you had to go against Green Lantern, and King Shark was one of the people who said, "We're treat comrades," like implying not even him could mess with Green Lantern, let alone Superman. Like, without the Yellow Lantern weapon they would eventually get, so it can kind of help bridge the gap between the power between Green Lantern and them, they couldn't really scratch Green Lantern at all. Like, as mighty as King Shark is, other than the promotional material, there's nothing to suggest that he's actually strong enough in this game to go toe-to-toe with Superman for real, though. I mean, because he couldn't even take on Green Lantern as a group, let alone by himself. I mean, you think he can go against Superman without kryptonite? Like, it just doesn't add up so far in the game. I know in the comic lore, he's hung with Kryptonians. I don't know how this game's universe power levels are going to do with King Shark. I've done King Shark on the channel before. He's definitely hung with Kryptonians in comics, but this game seems to be a little different. I mean, just think about it. Without any weaknesses and stuff, the Suicide Squad team, King Shark included, they was no match for the Flash, to where they literally got soloed right here in this particular occasion. It's not until Wonder Woman came in to stop it. This is the same being Superman was slugfesting with Wonder Woman. But it's pretty much proven all the Leaguers could solo the Suicide Squad. I mean, we've seen Green Lantern kind of do it here, to where they was just literally helpless, King Shark included. I mean, Wonder Woman basically soloed them. Even Deadshot couldn't land a hit. She has fighting speed. King Shark got handled here. And she was able to react to that kind of stuff. It shows her combat speed, because even when Boomerang was trying to use super speed to get away, like I'm talking about Speed Force, she still was able to react and trip him up. And this is the Wonder Woman that Superman was fighting and handling. So yeah, Superman's a beast. All this stuff may seem cool and stuff, but he actually has apparently off-screen feats that are, or statements that imply that he's even stronger than all these feats I've shown you in this video when he's possessed by Brainiac that apparently might amp him up. I don't know if it's really amping him, but yeah. See, here's the thing. There's like these Argus files that are actually canon to the lore. They add more mythos to it. They talk about the Justice League and how the invasion started and stuff. Superman and Batman have like a little convo. And I know this is just a statement, but if you read a lot of Superman comics, this statement is probably meant to be taken literally, guys. Batman in the Arkham universe literally stated that Superman has the power to lift or carry an entire planet on his shoulders. I know that's just a statement and it might sound like an exaggeration, but if you read enough Superman comics, this kind of stuff happens all the time. So it really wouldn't shock me if this version of Superman, man, he can do it too, man. This is pretty much confirmed if they even state stuff like that. I mean, Batman is the same person that says Superman is the most dangerous being to ever set foot on the planet. So I'm pretty sure when he said that planet stuff, he actually meant it. somebody that can carry a planet, it's pretty dangerous. Like, it's not rocket science. We know there's different planets. Planets vary in size. So even if you don't want to agree that he can lift an actual planet-sized planet, like our smaller moon would make more sense too. It doesn't matter how you think about it. We don't even have that much screen time from him, and it's pretty much kind of hinted at he can lift moon-sized structures or smaller planetoids. Heck, Batman made a joke suggesting he could carry the weight of the entire planet on his shoulders. Like, I know this was a joke, but based on the history of Superman, him carrying an entire planet definitely seems accurate, guys. And there's nothing in this game contradicting. I mean, look how big Green Lantern can make his constructs. I mean, this is a little small example of how strong the Justice League in general is. Green Lantern said, in his opinion, not talking as strong as Superman, and apparently Superman's the strongest. Like, it's little fun statements like this. Like, he probably didn't mean this literally, but yeah, I definitely believe he probably could move the earth. He talked about, all my life I moved heaven and earth to protect you. It's a pun for him giving everything he has to help people, but yeah, he was possessed here. So yeah, Psycho Superman kind of scary. He talking about how he throwing it in everybody's face how powerful he is. He talking about he can remake the world if you wanted to without Brainiac. Like, if he really has the strength to do this, which I believe should be taken literally, imagine what his punches would technically feel like. Maybe that's why Wonder Woman was feeling those punches, because his punches basically felt like a planet landing on your face or something, or the weight of the entire earth. She was probably getting hit with force that could move entire planetoids or small planetoids like the moon. That's probably why Wonder Woman was getting hurt so bad. Even unamped before the Brainiac invasion stuff, there was implications he can carry a planet on his shoulders anyway in the lore. Yeah, because planets can really change sizes. Like, which planet do you think he can move? We ain't even hardly seen nothing from him yet. Will we see more from him? It's a lot to think about. But before I get going, I hope you guys enjoy. Not much. Maybe this video gets retconned. Who knows? I'll see you guys later. But before I get going, I gotta say thanks for the donations, everybody. Respect Superman of the Arkham universe, even though he died from gold kryptonite, but that's none of my business. Maybe he's still alive. Who knows? I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.